Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to share with you 3 of the most common blocks I see that people experience that keep them away from manifesting the love they deserve. And I'm also going to guide you through a process of manifestation that can help you to open your heart for love, even if you've been hurt in the past or if you're still holding on some unresolved pain. And most people, including myself, we're human. We've been in situations when we've been hurt, and that's completely normal. What is very important is that before you date, before you start attracting love, to make sure that your heart is open for love. And that's why it's so important that we spend time dating ourselves. And the more you practice self-love, the more lovable you become. Why? Because you have to know yourself very well. And when you know yourself, I call it rising in love. When you begin to rise in love with yourself, you automatically start to rise your standards. And when you have higher standards for what you deserve, you show up with confidence. And when you show up with confidence, you value yourself more. And most importantly, you do not settle down for anything less than what makes you feel on top of the world. Because in spiritual terms, there are many theories. Some of them involved twin flames or soulmates, doesn't matter how you want to call it, but there is a person for every person, and we're supposed to be with somebody else in a partnership. So it's very important to know that unless your heart feels 100% yes, this is the person for me, then maybe they're not the right person for you. And you have to know the difference between a healthy compromise that is important for every relationship and when the entire relationship is a compromise, because life is too short to compromise your health. Our relationships affect our health, and our health is emotional, physical, and mental. So sometimes it's better to be by yourself. Being single doesn't mean you have to be lonely. Sometimes it's better to be by yourself than to be with somebody who is pushing your buttons, who is triggering you to relapse back to old patterns, who is pushing you to relieve old wounds. This is not love. This is settling down. So in this video, I'm going to remind you how awesome you are. And I'm going to remind you that unless you rise in love with yourself, nobody else would. Transformation starts with you. So this is the number one block that a lot of women experience, regardless of their age, regardless of their physical attributes, regardless of their profession. The limiting belief that something is wrong with them if they're not attracting love. And again, I'm going to emphasize that this has nothing to do with how you look on the outside. It's how you feel. The moment when you think that something is off with you, doesn't matter how you look on the outside. Unless you look into the mirror and fully approve of yourself, you're going to project your insecurities. And what happens is that when you project insecurities, you are likely to get too needy or clingy or try to kind of demand attention, or you feel insecure if your date is taking more than 20 minutes to respond to your text and so forth. So it's very important to first take necessary time to build your confidence. That's why when we talk about confidence, we always say that confidence is one of the most important building blocks of you living your best life. When you're confident, this helps you to set goals and achieve them. And again, it's how you do one thing is how you do everything. For now, we're going to stay within the realm of romantic relationships. So first, you have to build the confidence to know what you deserve and that you don't need anybody's validation to feel good and centered and grounded in who you are. And this is an inside job. And let me tell you, I'm a coach. It has nothing to do with what is your weight, how much money you make, how many friends you have, how many likes you get on Facebook. None of this metric matters. The one metric that matters, that defines your confidence, is all about how you feel without all of these measurements. Without the number on the scale, without the number in your bank account, without the numbers of likes. This is extremely important. And this is one of the reasons I often say that you cannot fake confidence. You really cannot fake confidence. And that's one of the most important first steps you should take if you really are serious about attracting the love of your life. To build the confidence. Because when you're confident, you are not allowing anybody to overcross your boundaries. You are more likely to practice emotional regulation, not to be swayed by your emotion. And by the way, it's a scientific fact that we women are more prone to produce more oxytocin, especially after intimacy. So that's why one of my tips for you is that you prolong being intimate with the person you're dating, because oxytocin can trick your mind, your hormones, to get too attached to this person before they have earned your trust. So this is a pro tip. And again, how it's tied to confidence. So a confident woman, first of all, she knows what she deserves, and she's able to see clearly through the person's actions. So something that happens a lot with women that I see in my practice is that they come up with disclaimers that they try to justify the behavior of their date to create a puzzle that fits their expectations. Let me give you an example. So let's say you're dating somebody who is very charming, very funny, they're good company. However, everything in your body, your gut, your intuition is screaming at you that this person is full of crap, and red flags. So what happens with your mind, your unconscious, is that your unconscious is trying to create the puzzle that this person is trustworthy, and you often tell yourself something like, yes, they might be late all the time, or they might not communicate clearly with me. However, they're really funny. Well, no. Something you should tell yourself in that situation is that they stood me up, and I'm going to move on as a confident woman, although they're fun to be around. So this is very important, to replace the however with although. And by the way, if you're interested in that, comment down below. I have a free training that is teaching you exactly how to do that, how to communicate your boundaries within your dating communication, and how to recognize red flags. So if you want it, heart this video, and the training is going to be down below for you. So this is number one, building block. Yes, I often talk about building blocks of confidence. However, in this context is the one limiting block that blocks you from attracting love. It's the block that you have to lower your standards to be lovable. No. In fact, the more you maintain healthy boundaries and good standards, the right person is going to recognize your value, and they're going to be very attracted to you because they see that you protect your boundaries, you are not going to take BS, and you are a woman who is capable of maintaining her self-worth. And you showing up as a confident woman doesn't have to come across as arrogant or self-centered. In fact, the most confident women I know are caring, they're kind, they're empathetic, they're funny. So being confident is the opposite of being arrogant. So this is one of these limiting beliefs that are about time to be dissolved. You showing up as a confident woman, it's all about projecting your value without demanding external validation, and without basing your self-worth on external validation, right? Okay, so let's move on to number two. And number two limiting block that blocks love is the block that you are too old for love. Unfortunately, that's not true. Fortunately, that's not true at all. And in my practice, I work with women after 40s. So I can tell you that it doesn't matter how young or old you are. In quantum physics, also known as law of attraction, your thoughts, they project energy. So every time when something moves, like my arm is moving right now, this is energy. My mind sent energy to my hand, and my hand is moving. It's the same thing, right? It's the same thing with your thoughts and with your self-actualization. So if you tell yourself, I'm too old to attract love, I'm doomed, Well, guess what? Is exactly self-fulfilled prophecy right there. So instead, something you can affirm to yourself is that regardless of my age, I am going to attract love because I'm open for love. I'm ready for love. I deserve love. Love is everywhere around me, and I'm going to spend the rest of my life feeling good about myself no matter what. And when the time is right, the right person for me is going to be attracted to me. This is so important, that you are practicing aligned action. At the same time, you're not forcing the outcome. This is a very important tool of manifestation, that you are projecting your desires into the universe without forcing them to come to you right now. That doesn't work. Every time when you try to persist, your outcome resists. So you have to let go and you have to have fun. So how do you have fun without attaching expectations to a certain person? So as you're dating, it's absolutely healthy and normal to take time to get to know the person, to date a few people, and really see what happens without meeting someone and then 15 minutes later deciding to marry them. Yeah, I mean that might happen 0.09% of the time, but for most people, relationships take time, trust takes time, intimacy takes time, and it's one of these things that waiting a little bit is going to give you the reward that you want. And this is the same principle, prolonging the instant gratification, with everything that you do. When you train your mind to prolong the instant gratification, you're going to be very successful, because you're going to have fun before you get the outcome. This is so important. And remember what I said in the intro. The more you practice self-love, the more lovable you become. So as you're dating and you're having fun and you're doing so many things that bring you joy, that elevate your spirits, that raise your vibration, as we call it, well, of course, you're going to be a fun company, and you will attract. You'll be a magnet for good people. But then if you have a cognitive dissonance, if there is a part of your brain that is resisting, what happens is that you're going to show up on your date, you're going to be too nervous, you're going to be too obsessed, or you're going to kind of self-doubt yourself. And of course, this will interfere with your date experience, right? I hope that makes sense. If it does, comment below and give this video a thumbs up. And the final blog for today is... what do you think it is? So the final block is that you have to change yourself to be somebody else. So of course, we have to work on ourselves, and I would say constantly. Life is a continuous process of letting go and transforming and learning new things. However, you don't have to be anybody else to be lovable. You are enough as you are, and this is very much tied to the previous blog. You are enough at your age, you are enough at this body, you are enough at your profession. You don't have to wait to be a certain size to date. You don't have to wait to earn more money to date. You don't have to wait at all. You can start immediately. And just to sum it up, for you to attract the love of your life, you have to make sure that your heart is open, is not holding on any unresolved past breakups or any sort of past hurt. You are having fun. You're not lowering down your standards. At the same time, you also practice humility, knowing that nobody is perfect, including yourself, and that's totally fine. You have to be comfortable with your own imperfections in order to attract someone who is going to be okay with your imperfections. Nobody is perfect, no one. And I find that the most amazing relationships really start from a place of self-acceptance, and when we practice self-acceptance, we accept others as they are, and in turn they accept us as we are. So this is the video for today. If you learned something from it, please comment down below, give me a heart or a thumbs up. And if you want to watch a training, comment below. And with that said, remember that you deserve not crumbs of love. You deserve epic love. Transformation starts with you. And for you to track the love of your life, you really have to take a mental inventory and see where in your life you might not be acting the way you know you should act, and to build unshakable confidence, because this is one of the most important assets you have. Your mindset, your self-worth, your humor, your energy, just everything that makes you you. Awesome. Have a wonderful rest of your evening or day. And this is Anna Maria, the founder of Voda Coaching. I help women to build unshakable confidence while improving every other area of their lives. And with that said, much love to you and talk soon.